Hi, it's Izzy here, Izzy Busy, and I just wanted to give you a quick update from yesterday. And yesterday I started making a video. I entitled it, "Is my ex-husband a narcissist?" And that's a question that I've always asked myself. And to this day, I'm not sure that I've got the answer to that question. I can only tell you how I feel about this and what my thoughts are with regards to this. And what really struck me during my marriage to my ex-husband is that everything he did was very calculated and very planned, and everything to the tiniest detail was planned out. His actions, how he was gonna, what he was gonna do with his money, how he was gonna organize his groceries, how he was gonna eat his meals, not with me. He always made sure he ate his meals alone, away from me, because if he had allowed me to cook for him, then that would mean that he was indebted to me. So that's how his mind worked. But it didn't click when it first happened. These are things that I have analyzed with hindsight, and it's just now that it's dawned on me that all this behavior was premeditated and very much planned, and there was nothing spontaneous about what he did. And so one of the things, he never ate a meal with me, and he would always cook his own food separately from the rest of the family, which was myself and my kids. One of them is our common child. And I was not allowed to question that either. I was not allowed to ask questions. And that will take me to the next big thing that I figured out during my marriage to him, is that I learned not to question what he was doing, and I learned just to shut up and mind my own business, and not to, because if you asked why, or why are you doing this, or what is the reason for that, the answer would be none of your business. And that's the big answer that he would give me. So none of my business. All right. So that's the explanation that came out of his mouth. Now, other things that he did: when we first moved in, I did everyone's washing together, and he very quickly said, "Don't do my washing, and don't do my son's washing," because again, if I had done his washing, that would have meant that he basically, in his mind, in his very calculating and his accountant mindset, that would then mean that he was indebted to me somehow. But I could not understand that type of thinking, because I do things for people because I feel like it, because it makes me happy. It makes me happy to do something for someone, and I don't expect stuff in return. I'm a very spontaneous person, and I quite often will do stuff just because I think it's the right thing to do, but also it makes me happy to do that. So there's none of this thinking, "Oh yes, I've done this, so you owe me that." But he's all like that. He was very much a person who had an accountant mindset, and everything was calculated, but it was always kind of in his favor, because when we first got together, I was the one who put the deposit down for our family home, and that was quite substantial. It was $100,000, which I had inherited from my father, and I keep repeating myself, but I did this, because I wanted to help both of us. I didn't expect anything in return, and I never said to him, "Oh, the day we sell our home, you're gonna owe me $100,000, or I'm gonna get more than you because I put that much more." But that would have been the fair way to do it. However, when I asked him to put a little bit more into the mortgage towards the end, because he had more money and he had just inherited money of his mum, he said, "If I do that, you gonna owe me that money, and I'm gonna write a receipt, I'm gonna write a bill for you saying that you owe me that much money, $20,000 or whatever. And then that's when finally the penny dropped, and I understood what kind of person he was. He's a very calculated, very cold and calculated. There's nothing that he does that is pure generosity or out of love or compassion, or he's a person that has nil empathy and that has nil compassion for other people. And another thing that always struck me, that if I was sick, he didn't want to know me. I had to go to another room. I wasn't allowed in the bedroom. He really felt it very inconvenient that I was sick. And I am, towards the end, I was getting more migraine attacks, and I think part of it was psychosomatic because of all the stress he was inflicting on me. But if I had a migraine, I was not allowed in the bedroom. I'd have to go to the spare room. And he would also be quite nasty about it and said, "Oh, you're always sick, what's wrong with you, it's like you can't be normal, it's always, you always have a headache." So that was what he then would say to me, and that was quite difficult to accept. And I don't know what would have happened if I had been really seriously ill, like if I'd had cancer or anything like that. I think he would have just discarded me as a useless piece of garbage or furniture. That I was always garbage in his eyes anyway. I wasn't really a person in my own right. I was just someone there, maybe to keep him company, and because he's always said I'm a very lonely person. So he was enjoying the company that I was giving him, but at the same time not treating me like as an equal, as a human being, but treating me more like a piece of decorum, like part of his environment, part of the furniture, part of the house, part of everything, but not really a person with dreams and aspirations and plans for the future. He never made plans with me for the future, never, ever, ever. And for him, I think he was very scared of committing himself one way or the other. He did marry me because I really asked him to do that, but he didn't want to. He didn't want that commitment. And as soon as we got married, he changed. From a really charming and amicable and very pleasant and understanding person, he became a nasty and mean and very cold person, And that from then on was his personality. And a few times it got a bit better, but mainly when he was under the influence of a few drinks, then maybe sometimes he loosened up a bit and became a little bit more affectionate. But most of the time he was very cold and very rejecting of me. If I approached him and wanted a hug, he would just say, "What are you doing? Go away. Can't you see that I'm busy?" And basically telling me to F off. So basically that's what he would do. And do I think that's narcissistic behavior? I don't know, really, to be quite honest. I'm asking myself, just because someone hasn't got a very nice personality, we call them narcissists right away. But I think his traits were very much like the narcissist because he had a very high opinion of himself. He thought he knew it all. He had all the answers, and the way he was doing things was perfect. And he was perfect in every way.